Hi everyone, I just wanted to do a quick video to give you some tips working with the data sets based on what I've seen from just meeting one-on-one with some of you already. So as an example, I'm going to use the data from this newborn baby patterns. I wanted to look at this one just because it happens to be a zip file. So if you click on this, it will prompt you to download, no, that's not what I wanted, a zip file. And you do need some kind of program that can open these compressed files. If you're using Windows, you probably have one built in, but if you can open it with some sort of zip function, that's what you'll need to do. If you have any trouble with that, I might have to look at your computer with you. But here are the three files that were in that zip folder, and I'm looking at this nursing data one. And some of these data sets, when you open up the CSV file, you see that all of the data is actually in the first column, all kind of clumped together. Some of the data sets, the data has little semicolons in between each piece, and Excel doesn't know that they're supposed to be split out into different columns. In this case, it seems like the data has quotation marks in between the different cells. So the way we can fix this is if you highlight the whole first column, which is where all the data is right now, then go to the Data tab and use this Text to Columns option. And we want to select this delimited file type. So delimiters are little icons that tell the computer where the next data value comes in. Usually that's commas, but because in this case it's not commas, Excel doesn't really know what it's supposed to do with it. So I'm going to choose delimited and go to next. So here we need to put in what the delimiter is, what's actually splitting up the data, and they give you a little preview of what the settings that are currently here are doing. And this is actually pretty much what we want. So it looks like the tab delimiter is actually what these little quotation marks are signifying. So I'm just going to do next and finish. And now, some of these are a little bit crowded, but now I have the date, side, duration, start time, all of the data values seem to be where they should be. The second piece that I wanted to look at is the difference between a CSV file and an Excel file. Some of these data files are in the CSV format, and your Excel program may warn you up at the top that the file is a CSV instead of an Excel file. When you save your file, I'm going to do a save as. When you get to your save window, I mean, you can call the file whatever you want, but save it as an Excel workbook rather than a CSV file. CSVs are a format that can be opened by lots of different programs, so they're nice and flexible, but they won't be able to support things like graphs and formatting and some of the stuff that we can do in Excel. So whenever you decide to use a particular data set, just save it as an Excel workbook and then give it whatever title you want. The third piece, for some of these data sets, you may find that there's a lot of data points, and you might only want to look at some of them. So one useful tool is what's called a filter. So if you go to the top of your data and highlight whatever the row is that has the labels for each data type, then on the Home tab, over where we've done Sort before, there's this option that says Filter, and it has a little funnel icon next to it. So I'm going to click that. This turns all of the cells in my first row into filters. And if I pick one of these filters, so for example side 1, I can see that this data, it seems to be L's and R's. I think this is left and right because this is about nursing babies. So if I click the little drop down on side 1, you see there's 2 different values listed, left and right. If I only wanted to look at the right values, for example, I could uncheck the L and click OK. And now it has limited my data only to the ones that say R. Now, I'm not sure if that's what you would want to do in this particular case, but it makes it easy to organize your data. Now, this hasn't deleted any data. I can still come back and check the L's, and then everything is still here. It's just making it easier to sort through. So for example, if I wanted to compare how long a mother nursed on the first side versus the second side, maybe I want to go through and remove all of the side 2s that were blank, right? That would indicate that the mother only nursed on one side. So if I come into my filter and remove the blanks, now I only have the L's and the R's from this column. Right, so you can use filters for anything. Some of these filters may not be very helpful, right? The start times, there's just going to be a whole bunch of start times. So, but you can use searches. So maybe if you only wanted to do dates that were on 10/11, you could do a search for that and only include those dates. You may run into lots of little weird issues with your data if you get to a certain point in a data set and something isn't behaving the way you would expect it to, or you're not really sure how to organize it from there. Please just send me an email, and I'm happy to take a look at your data set and give you some suggestions about how you can fix the problem or make modifications. There's a lot to know about Excel, and I don't want to present everything to you guys in this class, but there may be some tips and tricks that could help. I hope that helps. Good luck getting started on your projects.